Thank you, Mayor. It is definitely an honor and a privilege to be here today. Public Works Core Services, of course, as the Mayor said, affects every single resident, every business, all the visitors that come through here each and every day. And we also provide services to millions of others with respect to water and other types of services. One of our priorities within Public Works and Engineering, of course, will be able to build those communication ties so that we're able to reach out to the stakeholders, the community leaders, and the residents and public. Also, we will be working closely with other departments and agencies so that we can accelerate the implementation of the Mayor's Complete Street Context-Sensitive Design Executive Order for those designated roadways. PW has a very strong group of professionals, and I'm sure that they're ready to carry out these additional objectives that I've just stated. With that, again, Mayor, I thank you very much.
Anyone have questions for the new Public Works Director?
Yeah, I guess talking about flexibility and innovation, things like that, in the next year and a half, you know, how likely do you think it is to affect change in such a large department?
Well, the thing is, when you have a very large organization, we do a lot of things very, very well. We're not very good as far as getting the word out of what we are doing well. I think it's just that bridge called communication that we can actually reach out and try to do things better. My background is very community-based, and I think it's very important that you make the public feel as if though they are a part of the decision. It's not so that necessarily they are going to agree with you, but at least they understand where you're coming from, and you are willing to take their input so that you can make a better product for everybody to enjoy.
You know, if you talk to the average Houstonian, they're going to say, well, fix the streets, right? That's what everybody says, like fill in potholes and things like that. How do you anticipate you could lessen complaints in that or improve service in that department? So in that area, so perhaps that's not the first thing most Houstonians complain about, next to maybe crime.
No, potholes is the number one thing Houstonians are complaining about. You have bar none these days.
Well, you know, that sort of goes to the root of the problem with respect to the condition of our infrastructure. And for decades now, we've been underinvesting, maybe 25, maybe 30% of what we should have been investing. And as a result, you have streets that are in poor condition. We do have Rebuild Houston that the voters approved. The issue is, though, it takes a long time to pay off that credit card. And we're already seeing a fundamental increase in the amount of money that we have to be able to go out and do projects. Just from fiscal year 12 through fiscal year 15, the two different CIPs, we're seeing nearly a doubling amount of money that's going in for the CIP program. Also, this past year, the Mayor was instrumental in putting forward a 25% increase on operation and maintenance so that we can address those issues of potholes that are as a direct result of our aging infrastructure.
And are you planning on enforcing more, like we hear a lot from neighborhoods complaining the city doesn't enforce its current ordinances about, you know, drains, letting people pave over city drains, letting, whether or not we've, you know, when they just take the city right away and put parking pads on it and not pull permits, all those things. Is that something that it's going to change, a change in direction, or is that just going to continue status quo on that?
We always want to minimize that. Sometimes you have some bad actors that things happen.
But it's, I mean, it's prevalent. Everybody knows that.
Yes.
But we have to know it's there. It's a complaint-driven system. So I'm going to jump in on that one. We need folks in the neighborhood to be our eyes and ears. If you see somebody operating without a permit, if you see somebody filling in the gutter, if you see somebody filling in the ditch, putting a parking pad where it doesn't belong, you have to call in. We don't have the resources to patrol every street and cite them, but if you let us know we're there, his folks will get out.
I guess the complaints we've heard is that they complain about 1,000,000 times and no one ever gets cited and things like that. You know, I mean, this has been down that road before.
And I would love to get those examples of what is being cited, because if we get those examples that if they are supposedly not being cited, then let me know and we will find out.
When we're talking about outreach to the public and communication and things like that, Rebuild Houston itself is kind of hit or miss in terms of its popularity with residents. Do you have any concerns that some groups would be like, you know, oh no, the Rebuild Houston guy, we're skeptical. What's your thought on that?
Well, you know, it's interesting that you say that for the simple fact of the matter is that technically, Rebuild Houston is a funding mechanism. It's a funding mechanism that was approved by the voters to go forward to be able to address these as aging infrastructure. And we are, as a result now, it's just going to take a while to pay off that credit card. We are increasing the amount of projects, the funding availability. Now, we do have a wealth of information on the rebuildhouston.org website. That is there for anybody to get the information on. Also, if they call somebody and ask, you will definitely get a response from the professionals in the building.
Mayor, if I could ask you that question I asked earlier about sort of your hope for change over the next